Shall we store your weapons at the villa, as usual?
Are you sure? What makes you think you can win a battle of words against—
Certainly, but keep in mind he has enough evidence to condemn all of us as well. Even if we can destroy him and get him exiled, it may well cost us our own lives. Are you ready to pay that price?
You would question our resolve. Of course we will follow you, like we have followed you until now.
Slow down. What if I don't want to be part of a potential murder trial?
Does that mean you will not come with us?
All I'm saying is I would like to at least be asked.
We have faced many battles together. But it takes real courage to face certain death.
There is no need for this kind of doom and gloom. We can convince the Senate.
This is the right thing to do.
Of course I am.
It seems you have reached a decision. I was worried you might say that.
A pity I placed my trust in you. What a disappointment you turned out to be.
Silence! You are behaving like chickens in a basket. Remember who you are. You are weak tricks, undefeated. We will win.
The men are unsure, Legate. Especially now that Aquilinus left us. Many are having second thoughts.
Which means we'll have to plan this even more carefully.
We must be quick and deadly. The Legion must move in and take control of the city. Don't be naive. We have broken one of the oldest and—
Disbanded, as Wictrix was meant to be. What we've done breaks with—
I think he made his reasons abundantly clear. Maybe. But what if you can't? I understand the choice you have made. I get the idea of temporarily sowing chaos to instill order in the long term. It's a price we have to pay. But don't let Kaizo's life be a part of that payment. We've all been through too much together. He's not the only problem. We'll need to control public opinion. Eliminating the dictator will not be enough. We must take care of the Pontifex Maximus as well. As the religious leader of Rome, he has the power to mobilize people against us.
I think he's not your biggest fan. You know he's held a—
Keep in mind Cotta is an Optimus. What we've done goes against everything he—
Everyone believes in one god or another. Point is, people listen to him. Only him and the Vestal Virgins are allowed to enter the inner sanctum. But old traditions didn't stop us from bringing Wheatrix across.
We can be very convincing.
It's a good plan. Once Cotter is out of the way, there is no need to worry about the opposition he might drum up against us.
Once we're ready, we'll need to secure the Senate with overwhelming force and neutralize Vitellius Lurco. Agreed. This will never be over as long as he is at large.
It is very likely that the Senate will be full of senators. Vitellius Lurco might— Keep in mind, we may also encounter ordinary citizens trying to protect the Senate against our assault. Careful. Not all who side with your foe are truly against you.
I believe there's not much else to discuss. The longer we wait, the more we risk failure.
I expect nothing but surprises.
You don't enter the arena expecting to lose. We will—
I believe there's only one way to find out.
As you command.
I should have expected this, you arrogant bastard of a fallen family. What about all the things you have done? Are you willing to burn down the Republic? At least he respected our established traditions. All this bloodshed. And for what? The lesser of two evils. Is that you? Not the best way to stir a man's heart.
With the Pontifex Maximus out of the picture, our legion has been able to enter the Pomerium. Weaktrix now controls all roads leading into and out of Rome. That's troubling news. I'll put the word out among our Centuriones and gather more information about this. If Ferrata is mustering, we'll have a big problem on our hands.
We should slow down and think. Haste will be our enemy now.
The city is still not under our complete control. As the current consul, Lurko remains a formidable threat. Our actions have forced even those who hated him before to take his side.
There are many important men now trapped in this city, with good reason.
He commands no less than 4 legions in Hispania. If he's...
We need to take him out.
Or...
If possible. He's a shifty one. There's no knowing where he might be.
I'm told he hides in the Campus Martius. Perhaps we...
It seems like Gowinus would prefer to be on the winnings.
Are you kidding? There's no way,
Then we must take...
Let us not rule out any alternatives to violence.
We don't have much time.
You are needed here, Legate. Our true quarry awaits us at the Senate. We have preparations to make.
We should think carefully about who we send where. We may yet be able to solve this situation without bloodshed.
I can do that, yes. I will go wherever you need me, but I can only go to one place. I will bend Cato to our will.
I have a feeling the end will be messy. We control the peripheries of the city. Valete! May...
Halt!
What is the meaning of this? Who are you? That is very kind of your Magister. Give him my regards. I assume there was another reason for you to kill my guards, then? Curious. Especially considering Vitellius Lurco is the consul of Rome. Why should I support your rebellion? I don't. I'm just watching the situation unfold. At the end of the day, the winner, be that as it may, your legatus is also a criminal, and the evidence for that is somewhat more compelling. Fair enough. But is this a reason to rebel against the Senate? Your skill in rhetorics is quite impressive, Gladiator. Very well, I shall refrain from interfering. But your legatus will have to pay for the heads you've collected here today. You've certainly made your Magister proud, at least.
Salve, Cineros. What a pleasant surprise. I expected your Dominus to send an assassin.
I would disagree. If the virtuous represent an obstacle to those of lesser virtue, surely it must be clear that the less virtuous would benefit from the death of my dear friend Cato.
Are you trying to get me killed?
I'm merely stating the obvious, leaving no room for a nasty surprise. Old Cineros here might be a healer, but those who deliver help...
Very well. I am intrigued. Make your case. Such a circumstance is hypothetical. In the unlikely scenario that I have to break those principles, then I guess I'd be a broken man. At that point, the Cato...
However, you must accept that opinions and ideas change.
Loyalty is a virtue, but loyalty to a dishonest person may be the same as being You mean to say that ends justify the means? Each wrong action can lead to unexpected harm no matter what end your goal is. A curious stance. Proposing one must be able to reckon... But I guess your Dominus is in a...
Well, that is a great relief. If there is any doubt left in your mind, my friend, remember, as long as we are alive...
Salve, Cineros. What a pleasant surprise. I expected your Dominus...
I would disagree.
Are you trying...
I'm merely stating the obvious.
Very well. Such as in the unlikely scenario. Perhaps. I could offer my sympathies to such a broken person. Loyalty is a virtue. But you mean to say that each wrong action... A curious... But I guess you...
Well, if there is any...
did you get past the guards? I had archers and lookouts everywhere. Why are we talking? You're here to kill me, aren't you? Somehow I find it difficult to believe. But go ahead then. Ask your questions. He doesn't. That's why I was never instrumental to his plans. His loss, if you ask me. I prefer working alone. Felix was always better at handling people. You underestimate me.
Let's get them! aside so I can join the fight.
I need aid soon, lest I perish.
It's only a scratch, you big baby.
End is in sight. Push on.
Help a girl out!
Try to avoid this happening again. Lucky little bastard!
Covering this area.
get up. I'm just resting. Fine. You can help me if you want. Here. That should feel better.
Closer. I'll shoot as soon as I see them.
I won't refuse some help.
You're welcome.
The hour of reckoning is at hand. A grim task awaits us.
It's time to formally declare martial law. Not every citizen will take kindly to that, I know I wouldn't. So let's make sure we control the market when the news is read. There'll be more than just civilians. Our enemies will do everything they can to fuel the flames again.
Many of the senators who still oppose us employ gladiators for their own protection, and other less moral purposes. Of course, they all have their own lictors as well.
Depends on how fearful they are. The more
There's more. We believe they have retrieved their equipment from the Gallic War.
All of Ferrata would be no match for a single cohort of weak tricks. A few scattered legio...
It's not just about the legionari themselves, Bestia. They might rally the citizens against...
Let's just say not everyone was swayed by our argument.
It's a revolution.
A declaration of martial law is just so many words.
The consul is holed up at the Senate with his remaining supporters. It may be the most heavily defended building in the world at this point. To the best of our ability, we're trying. But to be honest, Legio Weaktrix is not used to this kind of combat. The Forum Romanum and the rest, only those few who have taken up arms for Lurko of their own initiative.
I would really think thrice before underestimating that man, Prima. Easier said than done. Then she would have fallen long ago.
The Forum is heavily fortified indeed. Our Legionari are trying to keep the Capitolium secure, but the consul called upon the citizens of Rome.
They are eager to defend their republic, with their lives, if necessary. Best of luck to us all.
In their eyes, we're nothing but bandits now. We must make our declaration of martial law near the Senate.
Even the few stragglers who took up arms again on their own initiative could...
Where a dedicated group of defenders can shut the trap and kill them all. A sound plan.
The most difficult task will be the main assault. You must fight your way through all their defenses to reach the Senate. Today, we will fight to the death. Tomorrow, they will sing about us. All right. Time is of the essence. No more talk. You have all heard the legatus. Prepare for the final push.
Good people of Rome, martial law is in effect for the safety of all citizens. Groups of more than 3 men shall not congregate in public spaces. A curfew is in effect. Any person found on the streets after dark will be subject to summary judgment.
That's preposterous! Who is making these decrees?
Long live the legatus of Legio Weaktrix.
I'm a citizen of Rome. We have rights. Down with you and your legatus.
Vitellius Lorco is consul, not you. Your decrees are worthless.
Seeking only peace and the unnecessary shedding of Roman blood, Webius Vitellius Lurco has been publicly implored to accept truce and lay down his arms.
Take your truce and stick it up your ass!
Let's show them how we feel about their curfew. Who's with me?
Form up! Protect the newsreader!
That's right! Please protect the newsreader!
And your tyrant legatus!
Out of the streets! It's not safe!
I'm ready to loose as soon as I see them.
Those Legionari, those are Ferrata's colours. Lurco's men are here.
I bet if we kill enough of them, the crowd will disperse.
All right. We may not even need to kill the citizens.
I require help. Push through the pain for Rome.
got this direction covered.
The other team has things under control.
We can slip in here, through the alley. There's more cover that way.
Our catapults will make short work of those barricades in the corner.
Here!
If anyone moves, they get an arrow. Reinforcements? Don't worry, we've got your back.
There's no way we can win this.
Get in there! Once more. On me! Get them down from there! I'm ready to loose as soon as I see them.
May all the gods run to the Temple of Saturn!
I've got this direction covered.
to loose as soon as I see them.
Let's not get bogged down fighting these people. We have to get to the Senate.
Fight to us! I've got this direction covered. this position for long. Until you see the whites in their eyes. Does anybody here actually know how to fight? I may be in a bit of trouble. Are you all right? mob is scattering. Let's go see if the others need help getting through the barricades. Over here! All right, I got you. Handle this alone, if I must. Medicaid! Are you hurt? and you may be spared.
attacking me!
The path is clear. The Forum Romanum is ours for the taking.
Lurko awaits us ahead. Are you ready? This is the moment we've been working towards for so long. You'd better be ready. Come on.
Respect the sanctity of the Senate. Leave now or you will regret it. You know I cannot do that.
They can't do it because they have a sense of duty and honor. We've been waiting for you. I hoped you wouldn't come. Whatever's necessary. You have already crossed the first line. I will not let you cross the last. I do remember what you did for me. And I'm grateful, but what you're doing here now, it's not right. Not even your reason for doing it is right. I have to stop you. Perhaps you're right.
His confidence is wavering. Keep pushing him. I think he can be convinced.
Why did you, Calida?
That's precisely why I'm here.
How can you be so certain?
Don't let his silver tongue talk you into abandoning your Remember who you are.
What? The Republic? I heard you somehow convinced Kato and Kikoro to support you. Or at least to get out of your way. Perhaps there is hope for the Republic yet then. So that's what you are. The lesser of two evils. And here I thought Kato was a man of uncompromising principle. Very well. I shall fight with you. But...
Never trust a This will not change anything, you know. Just give up. At least you'd save the honor and standing of your family. No one is laughing. Surely this can't be your plan. Look around you. I suppose you think that honor will be yours. Look at where we're standing!
At last, we're nearly done.
There was no glory in this battle.
Maybe we have gone too far.
history will not judge us kindly for this. Come on, let's deal with that son of a dog.
Can you not hear the angry mob outside? Can you hear the cries of the helpless that you swore to protect? When will you understand that everything you fought for... What is happening?
The roof is falling. Seek cover!
The fury of the gods.
Is everyone all right?
We're all fine, but not everyone in here was so lucky.
We have to get out of here.
Through the fire, then. To kill the tyrant.
You madman! Will nothing make you see reason? Come then! Claim your vengeance!
Closer. I'll shoot as soon as I see them.
If you defeat me today, you will only have to take my place. Without true leadership, the Republic will be destroyed! The world is at stake. Rome is a beacon of light in a vast dark sea of barbarism.
Your arrogance is boundless. You have visited the lands outside Rome, yet you have never truly experienced them. We can still win this, can't we?
Every man for himself! It is too much!
There will always be more obstacles for me to conquer, and I will conquer them!
someone prop this old man up!
Come on, you big sack of wheat!
This is all in service of common greed! Everything I did was for Rome! Republic! Without my efforts, you will succumb to sectarianism and corruption!
Such problems are endemic to all attempts at democracy, but they can and will be conquered. Without you, Lorco.
For me?
You are mostly fine. Get back into the fight.
If you defeat me today, you will only have to take my place. Without true leadership, the Republic will be destroyed.
Strike my shield all you want. That's why I brought it.
You've been dreaming of this. By Jupiter's beard. When will you finally understand it never was about you or your son? I had plans. Great plans for Rome. The Republic is... Your father was a spy. A tool of the state. He fought for the status, maybe. What's clear is that somebody must... Someone who could cut through the endless dogshit coming out of the Senate. The blatant tribalism. We need someone who is willing and able to make difficult and unpopular decisions. If a decision is made for the right reasons, it can never be wrong. It doesn't matter if you kill me. In fact, I'm content. You are clearly a better choice to lead Rome. It seems the park I intended my role to be in molding the first emperor of Rome. When I am dead, your reign will begin. Are you just gonna watch me bleed out?
It's finally over. It almost seems unreal. The beginning of what?
You have violated every single rule we set out to protect in the first place. You have killed Romans. Senators, even.
There's one thing you get to decide for yourself now.
We must submit ourselves to the judgment of the Senate, as we
That will only lead to execution.
But... Magister... Surely morals dictate that he should surrender.
He is like my own child. He would be a lesser man, but
I'm talking about all of us, not just our leader.
Well, I certainly do not want to be executed.
May I remind you what you have just said about the expected behavior of a moral individual?
I don't consider myself a particularly moral man yet.
I don't care about the philosophy of it. If you stay here, more people will die and the chaos will never end. We don't have to turn ourselves in if you're afraid of the consequences. I'm sure Cleopatra will protect you if you flee to Egypt.
I admire your principled stance, Domine. But do you understand the consequences? They are likely to execute you. Are you sure you want to do this?
Don't do this, please. I feel like I just found you. We can just leave. Together.
I understand.
I don't understand, and I never will. But this is your choice. So be it.
You have made the moral choice. You are a greater man as a consequence. I still am not as great as you. If they kill you, I will kill them.
It seems unfathomable that a man would go to such lengths to seize power, only to turn away from it at the last moment and willingly give up his life? Was it guilt that drew him to throw himself at the mercy of the Senate? Or was it principle? After all, if all he cared about was keeping the Republic safe from unscrupulous men, that goal had been achieved. Whatever his reasoning, after his surrender, all blame for the invasion of Rome was placed squarely at his feet. His companions and allies, and the soldiers of his legion, thus escaped condemnation and punishment. Following his execution, a time of great turmoil swept across Rome. The short but bloody civil war had exposed the fragility and the injustice of the Republic, and discontented mobs seized this opportunity to rise up and demand change. As the power of the Senate crumbled, so did the Republic. Rome fell, never again to rise as the global power that it had seemed destined to become. Shortly after his beloved Dominus was executed, Cineros drank hemlock and took his own life. In his heart, he knew he had failed to guide his ward down the right path, and the despair weighed heavily upon him. Moreover, he had failed in his solemn oath to his old Dominus, whose death had kicked off this story. Though he never got to see his homeland again, he knew at least that he had redeemed himself in the eyes of the gods, and he was able to meet his end with his head held high, unburdened by the mistakes of his youth. Caeso left Rome with Lucia and their daughter. They traveled to Africa, as Caeso remembered the warm nights and the lush Nile Delta fondly. Here they found a place to settle and made a peaceful home for their family. Though their relationship was distant at first, their devotion to their child drew them together, and their affection for each other grew stronger through the years. To his surprise, Caeso took well to fatherhood, and soon he and Lucia had many more children. Devastated by the loss of her beloved, Callida left Rome in grief. She felt haunted by her past misdeeds, cursed to never find love and happiness again. She traveled north into Gallia, where she settled into a new life of hunting and forestry. In time, she did become happy there. She even found a new man to love, one who treated her well, who loved her for who she was, and who would never sacrifice what they had together for politics or ideals. After the death of his friend, Bestia returned to the arena once more, but he was no longer a gladiator. His new vocation was to teach Pancration, inspired by the example of his Magister Cineros. He applied himself to this new calling with every bit of the vigor and determination that had made him a champion before. As soon as things had quieted down, Bestia traveled to Africa once more to look for his sister. He did find her and bring her home, and she lived happily there for the rest of her life. Although Deianira's story was cut short, she met her end on her own terms. The Amazon warrior went to her execution with stoic resolve and was buried in an unmarked grave on the outskirts of Rome. We may never know what awaited her in the afterlife, but at least she could enter it with the knowledge that she had avenged her sister's death. It would be a lovely thought to hope that they are together again in the House of Song. Claudiana lived for many more years. She had many friends in Rome, and her life was peaceful and comfortable until her final days. On her deathbed, she revealed that she had once been very close indeed with Lucullus, and that indeed the true family name of her children was Licemia. Cato remained an important figure in Roman politics, grudgingly respected even by those among the population who desired change. He remained a defender of the patrician class, a shield against the pandering and opportunism of more populist voices. He himself was elected consul twice throughout his life, and his years in the position were generally favorably regarded. Cicero served one more year as consul before his retirement. In his old days, he lived a quiet life on a farm in Sicily, where he was greatly beloved by the people for his time as quaestor. He continued to write many books on politics and law. Defeated once more by Rome, Mithridates escaped to the lands north of the Black Sea in the hope that he could raise a new army. But the locals soon rebelled against his rule. Incapable of taking his own life by poison, in the end, Mithridates died by the sword of his bodyguard. With Zenobia in charge of Musia, it became once more a peaceful part of the Roman province of Asia Minor. With her focus on trade and strong ties to the neighboring regions, her people enjoyed a period of great prosperity. Grateful for the mercy he had been shown, and no longer with Mithridates to tempt his greed, Damianos quickly resumed political leadership of Thracia. Here, the gladiator rebellion that had started in his school was threatening to spiral out of control. Thanks to Damianos, the gladiators were pacified quickly, and without inordinate bloodshed. Lunia's death sent Nazarmanes spiraling into a fractious conflict as greedy elders from minor tribes attempted to fill the void her passing had left behind. Though Queen Cleopatra attempted to bring the region under control, her attentions were too divided, the conflict too great for her to manage. Rome was forced to send more legions to enforce peace and stability with an iron fist. Though Africa Proconsularis eventually saw peace again, the traditions and culture of the Berber population were lost forever. Queen Cleopatra Philopator was, from the day of her coronation, a greatly beloved Queen of Egypt. Revered and admired by the population, she spent many of her days traveling up and down the Nile to visit her subjects and address their troubles and concerns. Under her rule, Egypt remained a powerful and prosperous nation and a strong ally of Rome. The fruits of the Nile flowed freely to the people of the Republic. After traveling all across Africa for many years, going wherever her instincts took her, Rhea eventually returned to Memphis and to the service of Tener at the Temple of Ubasti. When her mentor passed away, Rhea naturally assumed the mantle as High Priestess of the Cat Goddess. Though the old faith was dwindling, she was greatly beloved by many, and her temple prospered, always home to many, many, many cats. With Diwydiachus once more assuming rulership of the Aedui, the tribe maintained a strong alliance with Rome, and through it, they greatly prospered. With the aid of the Aedui, Gallia slowly unified under Roman rule, and civilization soon began to creep into those lands in the form of paved roads, aqueducts, and fortified Roman towns. In his old age, did the Druid ever regret hastening the absorption and suppression of his own faith and culture? We will never know. The once proud and strong Arwerni were greatly reduced by the defeat of Vercingetorix, but his survival gave them hope. His will to make war upon Rome had been crushed, but he remained a strong figure of leadership among his people, even despite his failures. With his guidance, the tribes of Gallia remained unified and somewhat at peace, and vestiges of their culture and traditions survived their gradual subjugation under Rome. In this work, I have done my best to recount the history of this fascinating period, truthfully and accurately. As I have scoured the sources and spoken to many who claimed to have heard the story from someone who was there at the time, one thing that has stood out to me is the pivotal moments along the way where our story could have turned out very differently. If the Legatus had not surrendered, the Republic might not have been torn apart by civil war. And I believe Rome could have remained a major power to this day. Perhaps it seemed that the only way to save Rome was to become its first emperor. But what if the Legion had never crossed the Rubicon? I believe the conflict could have been resolved with less bloodshed. There is no doubt such a decision would have brought great personal risk to the Legatus, however, and the cost could have been great. One should always take care when second-guessing historical figures with the benefit of hindsight. Here in the present, there will never truly be a way for you to know how you might have acted if you had lived in the past. Nor can you ever be certain how history will remember you.